We of the highest consciousness ever known and the most versatile form that's been grown, reside as consequent beings in this earthly realm, possibly the most fortuitous creatures that the universe has ever wrought. Indeed, we are this universe come to life, necessarily from a long line of fortunate accidents. It had to be this way, for any universe in which we could emerge would have to be appropriate for us, or we wouldn't be here to discuss it. Looking back, we already know ahead of time that we will discover the many happenings that made us possible. All this we know and expect because we are here. Scene script, perhaps in some other wares, junkyard universes litter the omniscape, for they flunked, failed, and miscarried. A quadrillion trillion universes broken down, for every one that worked to any extent at all. In some of these forlorn universes, perhaps the material was inert, and so it just sat there doing nothing forever. In others, maybe gravity was insufficient or had no natural place to collect particles, and so they thinned out endlessly, spreading coldly toward infinity. In yet others again, even those in the same ballpark as ours, perhaps the portions weren't quite right. Although they may have formed a few elements, they went no further than that for a zillion years. It could also be that all the possibilities, probabilities that are of so many imbalances must ever trace back to the perfect imbalance of matter and antimatter, this no longer seen as improbable. In our universe, the dark chest of wonders of possibility and probability opened up in just the just right way. Naked quarks spewed forth, among other things, and boiled and brewed in one of the steamiest broths ever cooked up. They somehow simmered and combined into the ordinary matter of protons and neutrons. Then quite independently by some unknown means dark matter energy arose as well, in just the right mix, and luckily too, some very long filaments called cosmic strings, formed and survived long enough to be useful as collection agents, which were merely imperfections, as in an unevenly freezing pond, a kind of a cooling flaw. None of these happenings were connected except by potential's destiny, so, fortunately, the cosmic strings attracted by their gravity both dark and ordinary matter, which in turn attracted even more of the same. These pearls of embryonic galaxies arose and were strung along these cosmic necklaces, as can still be noted today. So it was that some almost incidental irregularities, frozen out as cosmic anchors, were latched onto by matter, both light and dark, the proportionate portions of which were favorable, the dark matter dwarfing our ordinary matter, for some reason of a happy circumstance. Fortuitously, as well, antimatter, if there ever was any, did not fully cancel out the uncle matter. The universe could not foresee any of this in and of itself's fundamental substance. For if it could have, then we'd only have the larger problem of how the foreseer could have been foreseen ad infinitum. So it could have been like the trying out of all possibilities in superposition, a brute force happening of every path gone down. We know much of the rest of the story of how the stars and their supernovae created the light and heavy elements, which combined into molecules which auspiciously became able to replicate themselves as DNA and progress to make cells, tissues, and life. And then there was the luck of oxygen, a mere waste product of photosynthesis by bacteria and later plants, that could fill the lungs as well as build an ozone layer of protection from the harmful rays of outer space. Luck on top of luck, good fortune, and then prosperity stumbled along the right path. Of course, all this took many billions of years, and it is of course this long-eared stick that baffles the mind and sticks in the throat, but demonstrates the long time lag needed to produce even the tiniest of advances. It bears all the hallmarks of randomness at work, although quite probable if potential had it all worked out. Dinosaurs roamed the earth for over 200 million years. Imagine the length of that time. They were supreme and invincible, the kings of all the earth forever, on land, sea, and even in the air, heading towards forevermore and beyond. But Dame Fortune once again intervened when the asteroids or some such catastrophe finished off the dinosaurs, as well as 90% of the existing species. This random event left a vacuum in which newer species could thrive. Proto-man gave way to near-man and thence to us eventually, when two monkey chromosomes fused together, making us incompatible with the chimps, and so our ancestors then truly descended from the trees. You were once a lucky shrew darting all about, but then attached to a favorable evolutionary line. Every single one of your forebears on both sides, being attractive enough to locate a loving mate, and they fortunately had the good health to celebrate. We came to need no specialized niches, since we could adapt to any terrain, having brains that could learn much more after birth than instinct could bestow before. Our higher consciousness was the crowning glory. We had won the human race, the be-all and end-all, the grand prize of the universal lottery. So there is nothing more, aside from our own progress, to be and learn. This is it, that's all there is. DNA remembers every step of our evolution. And you can see this in fast motion, when embryos form simply in the liquid womb, replicate, and then grow cells that diversify into a human being after going through some non-human stages. The human embryo actually forms 3 different types of kidneys, one after the other, the first 2 discarded, resembling those of jawless fish and reptiles respectively, before our final kidney appears. There is also a fetal coat of hair that then greatly diminishes. Thus, 4 billion years compresses into the 9 months of pregnancy. So then hail and good fortune, fine fellows and ladies, and welcome all of you to the Meadows of Heaven, the highest point of all being, although we are surely still in our infancy. The path chosen by potential ends here with our consciousness. There were many pockets of universes, and was this very one that could sing our verses. The further design and the role of mankind is now in our hands. We were born here upon the shoulders of so many who have long since come and gone, all of them advancing the cause over eons of wiles. So here we are. Fare thee always well, fine friends, for we are some of the luckiest sons and daughters of being in a rare universe well done. Celebrate, live, be, for everyone dies, but not everyone lives.